Jeez, it's wild out there. Right, that's the key. However, with Mercedes-Benz, this is keyless ignition. It's keyless open, keyless close as well. You can either use the key, which I do prefer, or this little button, which you put in there, and you have to make sure you press it right in, otherwise it ejects itself and goes under the seat like I've just done, and I think I'll probably cut it out. So that's it, that's the key. As long as you've got it on your person, you can just open the door, press the button when you get out on the door lock, and it all locks. Lovely car. And foot on the brake, press the button, vehicle starts. And you're probably thinking, what's with the 80s jacket, Baz? Well, this jacket, long story, if I get time at the end, I'll tell you about it. But I used to have this when I was sales manager at Mercedes-Benz a long time ago, which was another story in itself. I'll just get this fan on. Let's just go. We've also got, so we've got Bluetooth, we've got sat nav, which is there. There you go. From here, you can turn that along the top, view map, or you can set it, set your directions. However, this vehicle has also got Apple CarPlay, which, as you know, I think is absolutely brilliant when you've got an internet signal. It's brilliant, that is. But if you just watch that, it'll come up there. The car has also got Harman Kardon speakers, which are fantastic. The problem with this is it's not a touchscreen, if that is a problem. However, it's easy enough to do. You work everything from here, from this switch here. You don't have to take your eyes off the road. You can operate it from there. So that's easy enough. You see in the mirrors there, that's also, it's got blind spot warning indicator. It does have lane departure warning. It's either adaptive or standard. The adaptive one, which I had on the way up, was very, very slight, very, very slight feel through the steering wheel. And to be honest, you could feel yourself crossing the white lines more through the steering wheel than you could through the actual warning. So I've switched it over to standard. It's not something I like anyway, so I'll be switching it off, or I would be switching off if this was my car. But anyway, we'll just get going. It's an awful day today. I'm soaked. My jacket's soaked. My pants are soaked. Fortunately, this has got. I just took me collar down there. Fortunately, this has got. Actually, I'm going to take this jacket off because I'm going to be too warm. Fortunately, this has got heated seats, so my pants are drained out nicely. Let's just see if I've got a Mercedes face. I'm not sure whether I have or not. Onto there. Mercedes, Porsche, tag, more Porsches. I did have a Lewis Hamilton face. Right, and another great demonstration, Baz. I don't know how you think of them. So we've got the pan roof too. It's the Mercedes-Benz gear selector, which you get used to. It's on the, it's where you would expect your wipers to be. So it's on the right-hand side there. So into drive like that, knock it down. You've got to have your foot on the brake. If you want to go into park, you just press the end in. And let's get going. As you can see, I'll turn the wipers on. There you go, wipers are on. But if you just look round today, it is wild. It's awful. The forecast was for it to be sunny from 9 o'clock till, well, all day yesterday, and certainly when I went to bed. However, things changed overnight and it's dismal. Here we go. the car has different modes. You've got eco mode, sport, comfort, and you can, like an individual mode, by pressing this in the centre there, comfort, sport, individual. It's on sport at the moment. Now, I set up the individual mode before. You can get to it another way. So you click star on here. Actually, I'm going to have to go back to Mercedes-Benz. So let's say Mercedes-Benz. So back to Mercedes-Benz. Vehicle, click vehicle. And there you go. And as you see there, I can move that round for not the eco, the stop start off, the aircon and comfort. Let's just see if that moves it. No, it doesn't. That's individual there. So that's how I set individual up. I set it to sport, comfort steering. I don't like the steering when it's in sport. Too much artificial feedback, and I think anything that's artificial gives you a false sense of security sometimes, and I'd rather be able to feel it through the steering wheel. Now, I went over the lines here. There don't seem to be any visual display here. Oh, it's not picked the lines up here. Don't seem to be any visual display for the lane departure warning. So, and it is the slightest. It's actually not worth having, to be fair. It's almost subliminal. It's that subtle. Right, we've got paddle shift, like so. Now you can see how fast that is. It's an awesome machine, this. It's not the weather today to be speeding anyway, but just take my word for it. The steering in comfort is very precise. The suspension is firm, but not, you know, M Sport, too firm. It's Mercedes just right. It looks an Eiffel. We've got this checker plate finish, the insets, and aluminium around all the switch gear, or brushed aluminium around all the switch gear, the steering wheel. It's got 3-position electric memory seats, and that's the control here. We're at certain death corner. Lovely gear change from the paddle shift. Oh, Mr. Pheasant. Well, don't stand there, for goodness sake. Come on, you can fly. This is a dim pheasant. I'm going to have to get wet again here, aren't I? Because this bird's too stupid to live. That's it, it's gone off the road. I forgot to tell you what the car was, and it's one of those days today. Let me find a place where I can pull up where I'm not going to be a hazard to other traffic. And I'll tell you all about it. I should be okay here. There's going to be no motorbikes coming around the corners, Harry Flatters, so right. I've forgotten the service history. I've picked up a UPS list instead. And so it's a 2-litre A250 AMG WhiteArt Premium 7G DCT. It's a 2017 on a 67 plate. Has done 51,670 miles at the moment. Of course, I'm out in it. It's got full service history. Fuel economy urban 34.9 miles per gallon. Extra urban 54.3 miles per gallon. Combined is 44.8 miles per gallon. Top speed of 149 miles per hour out of a 215 brake horsepower, 4-cylinder 16 valve engine. It has the twin matte black stripes, the Viper stripes up the bonnet and up the roof where the pan roof isn't. As you can see, this pan roof here, the pan roof is an opening pan roof and will, there you go, it will slide back, but I'm not going to slide it back because 2 reasons. One, it's throwing it down, and the other is my GoPro is mounted to the glass roof. So that's that. You've also got the electric shade band, which will come across if you press this forward, and again for the same reason I'm not going to demonstrate it because my GoPro's up there and it'll end up ruining something. These beautiful seats, these sport seats, they're absolutely fantastic. They're like, when you jump in you think they're really firm, but they're actually very, very comfortable. Hold you in, hold your shoulders here, just the right size for my physique. So really, really nice and comfortable. You've got power folding door mirrors there. We've got the AMG multi-spoke alloys. Let's just get going again and we'll turn the wipers on. Just here you've got cruise control and speed limiter. Heated seats just there. Just going to put that on one, try and dry my pants out before I get back to work. Climate control, nice easy CD system with buttons as well. You know, your radio, navi and so on, you can choose from these buttons, which is easier than doing it with this. And let's just see if I can go on to Star. Right, he's come back onto Apple CarPlay, which is what I prefer. And then just get around this corner. We'll go on to maps so you can see where we are. The Apple CarPlay is a great system. You don't have to take your hands off the steering wheel at all. You can control it by saying, hey, SIRI, or you can use your voice activation button. If you keep your finger on the voice activation button for a couple of seconds, the Siri sign will come up and it'll allow you to, you know, take me to such a place or navigate to such a place. It really is a good system. There you go. Too many pheasants about. You can see the male ones, but the female ones blend into this kind of browny grass at the side, so distance pilot as well. Does that mean distance pilot off? It's gone off. Limiter, we want to knock that off. It's knocking off again. That should be allowing me to set. Yeah, that's, so you set the sat nav, and then you can set the distance you want to be from the car in front by turning the end there. That turns it down, right down. Really, it's a very, very well equipped car. Looks good from the outside, looks like it's doing 100 miles an hour when it stood still. And being the A-Class, I was at Mercedes-Benz when the A-Class first came out, and the smart car, of course, and there was all the controversy about the car turning over. We'd sold loads and loads of A-Class. They were great little cars, smallest Mercedes. But of course, the press being what the press are these days, any negative things they can stick down your throat, they will do, and they would do. It was round about that sort of time that they started. So if you turned basically right or left at 70 miles an hour without taking your foot off the accelerator, without trying to feather the brake, there was a possibility that the car would topple over. I mean, most cars would either go into a slide that you couldn't recover from, or most people couldn't recover from at that, or do the same thing. But with it being Mercedes-Benz, big uproar. And anyway, they held back the sale, and they basically over-engineered them, and they put a system in, which, true, whether it was true or not, it had anti-skid, and basically you couldn't lose control of it. It took over. If it sensed you were going too fast, it would brake your wheels. And I put one on as a demonstrator for me when they came out. It was I think an avant-garde with absolutely everything on leather. It was a beautiful car. And I found that I could come off the slip road when I was coming home from work, come off the slip road and basically keep my foot down, keep going, and go around the roundabout, as long as there was nothing coming, of course. Go around the roundabout, and the car would brake and not allow me to lose control. Fantastic car. And this is the same. It feels, it's got bigger than it used to be, but it feels over-engineered. Anyway, with all the bad press, I got people people ringing up and cancelling their orders, and it was quite dire because we got loads of them sold, pre-ordered, and you know, after a while, it turns over, and he says, well, you know, who in the right mind would do a 90-degree turn at 70 miles an hour? You know, it just will never happen. Well, the moose test, the elk test. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, if you're going up the M55 and a moose runs across and you have to, you know, make the decision to steer around it or turn right at 70 miles an hour, don't just knock it down, because an A-Class is as safe as an E-Class in a collision, so you'll be fine. Anyway, that didn't pacify a lot of people, I have to be honest, but some people did see the funny side of it, and they became a great seller. And of course, they've kind of evolved into this sort of shape, this sort of drive. You certainly feel a lot lower down. The A-Classes, I remember, had kind of a sandwich floor. You sat further up, you'd got just loads of leg room, but the car was shorter. Mercedes design. And this is, with this engine in especially, it's a tremendous car. And of course it's petrol. But on roads like this, with the paddle shift, it's a shame there's all these puddles, because it's just a joy to drive. Even in these conditions. Bearing in mind, if I have to turn right or left at 70 miles an hour on this road, down there is a huge drop, and down there is the mountain face. Parking brake is down here on the right hand side. Your lights are here. So your gear selector is basically your indicator stalk, or was an indicator stalk on previous generations of Mercedes. I'm just holding it in gear here. I think the amber light coming up is telling you, you know, beware, there's stuff about you. Be on your guard. On the way up here, when anybody came past me close, those triangles lit up red. I really like that invention, that idea. I think it will have saved a lot of motorcyclists. And being a motorcyclist, I think that's an extremely good idea. The throttle is just right. You can kind of crest a little hump back. Your foot comes off the accelerator as you're going down, back on, and you're away. The steering is really precise, like so. I think we got a bit of, oh yeah, we definitely got a bit of reverb there. For those who like, I went into town the other night to Preston, and there's a lad in an A3 Audi who'd obviously got one of those pop and bang setups. He was going way too fast for basically a pedestrian zone, but the noise that was coming from it, it was like somebody was firing a shotgun. And to be fair, in this day and age, when you never know what's going to happen when you go into town or so on, the guy should have been arrested and his car crushed with him inside it. Right, that's not the best position to park your Polaris or whatever it's called. At least the weather today will give the birds a sporting chance, hopefully. They won't want to take off. This is a lovely car. It's a real driver's car. You just, I always, when I worked at Amari's, I used to open up. I always used to be first there, and I'd walk into a showroom full of Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Aston Martins, and so on, and you always got this feeling like the cars had been out all night and just climbed up, you know, just climbed up the drain pipe and got into the showroom and just got there before you. There was this sense of what could be or what might have been happening, and it's the same with this. You've just got this feeling that it's kind of got a dark side to it. I think you could have a lot of fun in this car. I do like the exhaust sound. I like the subtle popping and banging, not too loud. I must remember to video the seats. I couldn't do it. It was lashing down, rain flying in the car. But I must remember to do the seats in the inside. You see these lovely sports seats, Alcantara in the middle. I'm assuming that will be the Mercedes Artico leather, not real leather. But again, with the white and grey stripes up the centre, the grey stripes, sorry, the matte black stripes up the bonnet and the roof. It really, it's a lovely car. So I'll leave the test drive there, but it's another beautiful car. The chap that part exchanged it, he specifically wanted this vehicle, wanted one of these, bought it, and then moved to a farm. Needed a four-wheel drive to get up the track. This is quite low, low profile tyres. And to be fair, he didn't want to ruin it, and I think he probably made the right choice. He's bought another Mercedes Benz, so he obviously likes this. It's a great car. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.